Boy, 15, named after being jailed for triple stabbing during Royal Regatta. A teenage knifeman has been jailed for a triple stabbing attack at the Dartmouth Royal Regatta. Charlie Bush was just 14 when he confronted his teenage victims separately, cutting them in the face, arm and hand as part of what he believed was a local turf war. A judge heard that despite his adolescent appearance, Bush was motivated by an urge to enhance his fearsome reputation for crime and respect on the street. Now 15, the knife-wielding thug has been jailed for 4.5 years for the attacks at the popular public festival in Devon last August. The stabbings were the culmination of a 2-year crime wave by Bush, which included attempted robbery, punching a 56-year-old man in the face, and threatening a stranger in Paynton with an air pistol. Sentencing him at Exeter Crown Court, Judge David Evans said his young victims had suffered severe psychological as well as physical harm. He told him, "Why should you, Charlie Bush, create that kind of physical anxiety in other people just because you want to be respected? I don't think you understand what the word respect actually means." He added, "The risk you pose is current and significant. The risk you pose is quite clear, causing serious harm to others through your using a knife on others. Despite your age and the passage of time, you pose a significant risk to the public. It is vital your risk be assessed by assessors before you're released." Bush, of Paynton, Devon, was told he would have to serve an extra year on top of his sentence on license and would only be considered for reason at the 2/3 stage. He had pleaded guilty to 2 offenses of wounding with intent and 1 of causing grievous bodily harm. Prosecutor Mr. Nick Lewin said the regatta offenses happened on August 26 last year. Bush was with a group of friends and approached each of his victims separately before attacking them with a knife. The first victim was aged 16. Boy taken to McDonald's overnight because there was nowhere else to take him. Why is Tesco Direct closing and is there a closing down sale? Man taken to court after smacking child. He was approached by a group and they were shouting, "Who's looking for little man?" a known nickname for Charlie, said the prosecutor. The victim was threatened and punched. He finally ran through the group, sustaining several blows. During the incident he suffered a 3 cm cut to his palm which needed stitches. The second victim, aged 15, saw the first attack but was then approached by Bush, who swung his right arm at his face. He ran from the scene but needed treatment from paramedics for a cut to his left cheek. The court was told the third assault, at about 10 p.m. that evening, was the most serious. The victim, aged 17, was at a stall when Bush marched up to him and started slashing at his chest with a knife. The victim put up his arms to protect himself and suffered a deep cut to his forearm. He spent 2 days in hospital and needed an operation and stitches to heal. Bush was subject to a conditional discharge and a youth order at the time of the offenses. 2 weeks before the knife attacks he confronted a 19-year-old man on Torbay Road in Paynton. He shouted insults at 2 women, calling them ugly munters, before pulling a realistic-looking gun from a bag, pointing at the man's head and pulling the trigger. He ranted, "Do you know who I am? And you don't want to mess with me." Boy, 5, suffers first-degree burns despite wearing Factor 50 sunscreen. Couple brag about having sex on gravestone for 45 minutes. Mom lay bleeding with stillborn baby still attached, waiting 5 hours for ambulance. The victim thought he was going to be shot in the head, but when it turned out the pistol could only discharge gas, he punched Bush to the ground and kicked him before others stepped in. Bush admitted possessing an air weapon with intent. Mr. Kevin Hopper, defending, said that Bush had come from a broken home and he had found himself on the wrong side of the tracks before moving from his native London to Devon. He had become involved in gang culture while in the capital but was also a talented footballer and had played for Barnet FC, Luton Town and Spurs at youth level. Judge Evans said there was another side to Bush and he was clearly a talented artist and somebody who could be a clever and charming boy in the right circumstances.